geometry.
That's clever, Arjun.
Thank you. Shapes. Shapes on the floor. There are simpler, easier ways of doing it and more challenging ways.
Hmm.
Let's start out simple, okay?
Yes, I like that very much. So when I was first learning the Molinete, we were introduced to what they called an open left turn. It is basically the Molinete done in a rectangle shape. So getting started, we have the open for the follower and then back, open, forward. This is to learn our pattern. Open, back, open, forward. And my objective is to keep that kind of rectangle shape around my partner. And this can be either a nice way to dance a molinete with a very, very beginner, because the more open shape of it kind of allows for them kind of walking through it and kind of getting the idea, oh, this is the pattern that I'm following.
Yeah. And for the leader, it's simply I keep the hand side leg in place and I'm just pivoting around that leg.
So it gives you guys a nice concept of how to keep your center light focused on the partner as they go around. So you can dance your molinete nice and open in our rectangle shape. Of course, middle of the range, one we're usually introduced to the most or work on the most is our circular range, where my focus is to maintain keeping a nice even circle around my partner. Ta-da! And then,
And then on that, we can take as many steps as we like. It could be tiny steps, bigger steps.
yes, the leaders have it pretty easy in this move because really you get to just go wherever you need to to maintain the molinete. It's nice. So then we also have a actual triangle shape that we can dance our molinete in. To help us visualize the idea of the triangle, we have used some painter's tape here on the floor to actually create a triangle shape. Initially, this is wonderful for solo practice because this gives you not only the idea of where it is that you're stepping, but it's going to push you a little bit because by changing it from a circle to a triangle, we have now created opportunities for more rotation than we would normally have.
Greater than 270 degrees,
Yes.
3/4 of a turn.
Yes. So if you are already very familiar with your molinete, this is your next level. This is your next step to really elevate your abilities within the molinete. So again, starting off, we have open, forward. If you notice, again, to hit this triangle, I'm having to create rather large steps, which in turn create large windows of opportunity for my leader, which we'll get into. He likes that a lot. But if you notice right here, as I come from here, collect before sending here, and then this back ocho, collect that and really have to rotate that around to be able to reach those additional points. So this is a wonderful training tool for increasing your ability to create those rotations.
And there's a message for leaders, as Tina indicated. Foot play, cicadas, barritas, where typically we're told that Argentine tango is such an intimate dance and we want to be close, and we tend to step close to each other because we're staying close.
Right.
But if we want to play with crossing our paths and creating interesting foot play, we have to open up windows where we can step. So let's illustrate that.
Yes. So by changing it to a triangle shape, it feels like we're kind of creating little bursts of energy.
Right, as well as direction on the arm side, so that rather than keeping our partner rolled into us. We're actually saying, hey, if you'll step away, then I'll have some space where I can step into where you were moving, where we're actually crossing paths.
And I'm definitely noticing a lot more direction, like Arjun was saying, from the arm side. Again, when we have a standard circular molinete, we don't need a lot of manipulation through the leader's arm side. It feels overled when we have that type of movement within a basic molinete. But to contrast having very little and having a relaxed frame into having more tone in the frame, it lights up those brain centers and it goes, oh, something different is happening.
Yeah,
this is
something
exciting.
special.
Yes, exactly. I better pay attention. And leaders, if you can kind of get used to the idea of leading in this triangle shape, it definitely changes up the dynamic and the opportunities of this basic molinete.
Right. One little caution. When we put something on the floor, there's a temptation to look down at it. Oh, we want to use our peripheral vision to be aware of what's there.
Exactly.
So far, we've done all of these, turning around the hand side.
Yes.
But hey, let's introduce some variety. We can also go in the other direction.
Don't forget, you can go counter or clockwise, or like we like to refer to it, hand side or arm side with our molinete.
And you can see there, on every single step, we can reverse it, go back the other direction, go back the first direction.
This is super fun.
So if we start off with an open step, we can wait for another open step and then just reverse it. We've got a front crossing step, change that to a back crossing step. Back, forward.
Once again, we encourage you, if you feel like you have fallen into, oh, I always reverse my molinete on this certain step, you have two others to choose from. So we encourage you to play with these rebound movements and even creating an ocho, a forward ocho or a back ocho, to get the molinete going in the opposite direction of where you started. It's great fun.
Ah, and by the way, since you've got all of the three possibilities of the ways that we can step around a partner, an open step, a forward crossing step, or a back crossing step, those can be entrances to any of the other patterns that you may have learned, or the key moves. From a molinete, we could be doing a regular molinete and then change it to a cruzada.
We can. If you're a talented leader like Arjun, that's a good one to work on because it's unexpected. It breaks the followers out of that kind of pattern that they get lulled into and makes things interesting.
Right. And we might as well include, just in passing,
Yes.
we have the open forward, open back, etc. But just for fun, we can change it to
all forward. I can do that. I can do all back. And I can even choose to replace one of my either forward or back crossing steps with the forward or back. Meaning, if I want to do forward, open, right? And replace that back step, I have the option of doing that, as well as my back, open, back, open. This is still molinete as well. So you have all kinds of options that you can play with as far as direction and the steps that you include in your molinete.
Yeah.
And one of our favorites, got a little bonus move for you. Using the molinete, but stepping out of our basic format for the molinete. We also have a quick, fun little half molinete that can get you turned around and change directions rather quickly. And it's fun.
Yeah, so let's say we've got a corner here, or so geometry, an aspect of that is knowing that we can orient ourselves for the beginning as well as the exit. We can choose our exit point and step out in the direction we need to stay in our lane.
Yes, yes. And like we showed you, we encourage you to just take little segments out of the molinete and use those as you need to. You don't have to ever be stuck in the pattern from beginning to end. We are free to break apart and rearrange as much as we want to. And speaking of which, now that you have worked on the full range of possibilities that we can play within our molinete, we encourage you to head on over to our El Básico con Sabor series. We have an entire video that shows you how to get into molinete from any step of the 8-count basic. So now you have opportunities to enter in any way you like, and after this video, you have learned how to change up the look of that molinete in lots of different ways.
Indeed.
We look forward to seeing all of the creative things that you guys come up with your molinete. Come over and join us at gameoftango.com, where we are doing these types of explorations online, and we look forward to seeing what you're doing on the dance floor. Until then,
Abrazos.
abrazos.